Football Insider here with Charlotte Catholic Cougars strength and conditioning coach Mike Hazel. Coach, talk to me about the mission statement for your strength and conditioning program.
Sure, absolutely. First, I want to thank you, though, Matt, for allowing me the opportunity to kind of speak on behalf of Charlotte Catholic, the strength program, and what we do. Mission statement is very simple. Our mission is to offer a quality opportunity to both students and athletes alike. So any student that has the opportunity, or any student that walks through the doors here, athlete that walks through the door, they have the opportunity to train with me and develop quality habits for life while also impacting their athletic performance if they do play a sport, and hopefully transitioning those habits into healthy habits for life, or giving them the opportunity to get a little bit of time under their belt, so if they are fortunate enough to play at the next level, they have that base knowledge before they head off to college to play. So that's kind of our mission statement: opportunity to develop all student athletes to the highest level while impacting their character off the field in order to develop successful habits for life.
Excellent. Well said. And that's been reflected in Catholic athletes for many years. Talk about the pillars to your strength program.
Sure. So our strength and conditioning program is based off of 5 pillars that myself and my staff have come up with. Number 1 is injury prevention. I don't view my program as being successful based off the wins and losses that our sports teams have. Well, that's great. Every athlete that participates, they want to win, don't get me wrong. But I view success in my program of the strength and conditioning world is preventing as many injuries as possible. Mm-hmm. However, as I develop through this field, I start to realize that injuries unfortunately aren't preventable. So as many injuries I can reduce as possible, that's my main goal. That's the first pillar, is injury prevention, injury reduction. Number 2, I'm a firm believer in speed, agility, and quickness. The saying, speed kills, is so true. So we work on a lot of speed, a lot of agility, and a lot of explosive training. Now, speed is, there's multiple ways to train it. Obviously, moving our body through space is a huge aspect of what we do for speed training, but the way we train explosively. We train fast in the weight room. So that has another aspect of speed to it. And that kind of leads into pillar number 3, explosive strength. While it's great to be strong, it's not necessarily the strongest guy that wins, but it's the person that can move that force the fastest wins. So explosive strength, power, velocity-based training. So that number 3, that third pillar, is explosive strength. I can't think of a sport where you're playing or you're practicing slow pace. So we're going to train at the same tempo in the weight room that our athletes play with. The 4th is functionality. Obviously, different sports, the multiple athletes that we have in there need to train differently based off their position, based off their sport. So I like to say a position-specific, sport-specific training program. Just to go a little bit more into that, a baseball player is going to need to train a little bit different than a football player will need to train. But don't get me wrong, a squat's still a squat, a bench press is still a bench press. They're all going to have benefits across the board for all sports, but some of the supplementary lifts we do are going to be more functional to that athlete, to that sport that they play, and the position they play. And that last one is team development. Huge aspect of what we do is develop that team bond with our athletes. A sports season, no matter what the sport, it's long, it's hard. There's going to be times when athletes don't want to go to a practice, don't want to wake up and go to lifts, and when they have that team bond, when they have that mental toughness, they're able to push through it. They'll be able to rely on their teammates. They're able to rely on themselves, and that's a huge aspect of what we do in the weight room. And it's very simple. It's just holding them accountable and developing healthy habits for them, and developing a mentality that it's time to go to work, so to say, when they step in that weight room, and to be on time, and those little things that really impacts character. And that's huge in terms of relating to mental development, team unity, and all that, to kind of form that 5th pillar of team development. So those are the 5 pillars that we like to base our strength and conditioning program off of. We've seen a lot of success relating over the field to the court, whatever sport it may be that they participate in, following those 5 pillars.
Man, that's well said, Coach, and I agree. The success throughout this program, you are the core of the backbone of several successful programs here. That's awesome.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
How does it feel to be a part of success in multiple programs throughout your career here at Catholic?
It's great. can't be thankful enough to the staff, the administration for giving me this opportunity. It makes my job a little bit easier when I came into such a successful program, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of that as an athlete. I graduated from Charlotte Catholic in 2005, but it's such a great feeling that our athletes and our coaches have such a high expectations, not just on the field, but of our athletes as people, and it's great. It really makes my job easy in the sense, in terms of building the strength program. The process to create buy-in was a lot easier than some of the places I've been in the past. So it makes my job easier in that part. However, on the other end, because our athletes are so into it, they buy into it, it makes my job a little bit harder because I have to be a little bit more creative to get the athletes to do more, to become better athletes, because they're just so eager to get in there to get better.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome. Now talk to me a little bit about how you develop a player from, coming in as a smaller freshman to growing them throughout, their career to become a very, very good, productive senior player.
Absolutely. So when they come in, we see a lot of athletes that have never touched a barbell, never touched a weight in their lives. So they're really just lumps of clay, and it's our job as strength coaches to kind of transition them to be better athletes in this general term of sports performance. Now, talent is talent. Yes, a lot of people are built with talent, but my job as a strength coach is to see that talent and to make them the best versions of themselves as possible. So we start our freshmen at a very basic level, getting them used to moving their body first, then moving light resistance, then transitioning to a barbell. And it's a grueling process. A lot of kids, they want to just get in there and go, but it's to the point where you have to slow things down, slow cook it, and make them realize it's slow cooking. I always use the term, don't lift with your ego. On our orientations, that's one of the first points I make is don't ego lift. That's the easiest way to get hurt. It's a process, but work with me. And by the time you are a senior, it's going to be night and day difference from the first time you walked in our doors as freshmen. Going a little bit in deeper with that, these athletes, and it's great, it's one of the reasons why I love working with the high school population, is they're in the process of growing. So a lot of them are going to grow through a growth spurt. And it's our job as strength coaches, once they grow, to not let them develop bad habits, to help them develop better habits. And what this really goes back to is the running. I've seen in a couple of years here, if athletes do develop the bad habits, they start to get stiff, they start to get mobile once they hit that growth spurt. So one of the big things we hit on as well is not allowing that to happen, to develop those healthy habits and keep them loose, keep them limber, so to say, and keep them fast. So it's really a process. It's a 4-year process, and it's extremely enjoyable to see someone come in timid and shy and not really knowing their way around the weight room, to when they're a senior, just walking around with a big chest, confidence in themselves for all the work they've done. And that's where I get some of my most success, is seeing them go from just a very beginner to a more advanced athlete in the weight room. And it's a great experience. That's what gives me pride at the end of the day when they graduate as a senior. And they go to the next level, or they go to college and they say, hey coach, thanks, I really enjoyed my time. You've really helped prepare me for the next level, prepared me for life. So it's really a rewarding experience to see them go from freshman to almost just raw lumps of clay to more advanced athletes in the weight room, both on the field. So it's extremely rewarding for me.
That's awesome, Coach. Excellent answer. Last thing, is there anyone you want to thank for supporting you and your efforts here at Cal?
Absolutely. I can't thank my assistant strength coach enough, Derek Miller. He's been with me since day one. He actually sent me a text message the day I got it and said, if you ever need help, please let me know. So of course I'm going to bring him on board. My previous intern, Dylan Horn, he did a fantastic job helping easing the load on myself. Also, the administration, Mike Brodowitz, Kevin Christmas, all the other head coaches at Charlotte Catholic. There's so many of them that I work with. I want to thank you guys all for giving me the opportunity to work with your athletes, your student athletes, and of course the administration for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank them for allowing me to do what I do and build this program to be the success it has. And last, I got to thank my family for always being there to support me through this journey. It was a journey that started when I was 16. So they supported that journey and that vision I had, and I can't thank them enough. And of course, I want to thank you, Matt, for giving me this opportunity to speak today and shed some light on what we do in strength and conditioning at Charlotte Catholic.